Hi guys, this is your girl Miss Versatile again, and on today I'm coming to you with a new braid tutorial. There's this popular style going around on Facebook, and I think it was first posted by a lady named Frida Warburton. I hope I said that right. I will put it right here. Going quite viral really quickly, and it's a combination of feeding braids up into a ponytail with an elongated curly ponytail all the way down. I myself commented and asked what type of hair was used in the hairstyle along with hundreds of other people, and I noticed that we did not get a response. So what I'm going to do today is try to imitate the style with some hair that I saw in the store that I thought might make the style look as similar as possible. Okay guys, so I won't spend much time explaining how I do my feed-in braids because I already have a tutorial on them. If you'd like to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description box below. As far as the designs go, you can choose whatever braid pattern you like. All big, all small, designs, straight back, just be creative and have fun. Now, before the internet rumors begin, this stylist and I have absolutely no beef. I do not personally know her, and she does not know me. I just follow her on Facebook, which is why I wanted to be sure to list her name and give her the credit that she deserves, because she really does do great work. This is just my personal opinion about the hair industry in general. I've noticed that other stylists have a problem with sharing how they do things. I mean, everyone is unique. Everyone is going to do things in their own way, and there's plenty of money to be made. So if you're the first to do something, there's no way that anyone is going to be able to take that from you. I myself would personally count that as a compliment, as a blessing that my style is getting publicity, is getting out there, it's getting spread, and people are trying to follow my lead, that I'm setting the trend. But I've noticed that a lot of people will try to literally bash another stylist for trying to achieve what they quote unquote have created, and I just don't I don't comprehend that. But I guess everyone doesn't think the same. So enough of my ranting, back to the hairstyle. Now this part that I'm doing here, it actually came from another one of her hairstyles that was very similar to the first one I showed you. The only difference is the designs that she actually used to braid the hair. So here you'll see that I'm mocking her triangle parts. She braided, she parted a section as if she was going to braid a big braid, but then she divided it into a bunch of little triangular sections. I chose to braid the sections in the opposite direction from which I'll be flipping them, but you can choose to braid them in the same direction in which they're going to go. It doesn't matter. But once you've finished all of the little triangles, you'll just flip every other one either to the left or to the right, and when you actually do the big braid, you'll just grab the ends of it and braid it into the braid. Now once you finish braiding the smaller triangles into the big braids, You just continue to braid the rest of the hair however you choose. I chose to continue the small big pattern that I had started in the front of her head. This is what it will look like once you've reached this point. Now I'm just going to go in with some Shea Moisture oil drops and make sure to moisturize my client's scalp. You may also use the foaming lotion at this point to tie down all the frizzies, but we didn't need to do that, so we moved on to the next step. Now you're just going to take all of the braids except for 3 in the back and put them into a rubber band. Then you're going to braid them down into a long braid. Now because I didn't make her braids big nor long, I had to add hair into this braid all the way down to make it longer. I would suggest making your braid much thicker than I made mine so that the ponytail can look fuller. You'll notice later on that because my braid is so skinny, I ended up having to comb the hair out in the ponytail to make it bigger and get it to the size that I want. So yeah, definitely make your braid a little bit bigger. The hair that we used for the braids was the Expressions Ultra Braid in the color red, and I was able to find this inexpensive curly hair to match that same color. It's the brand She, and it's only 8 inches and it costs $7.99 per pack. Now to begin this ponytail process, I started off doing the same thing I do when I make my units. I took the needle through the braid, then through the track. Once I pulled the thread to a small loop, I then took the needle through the loop and secured it. Once the track was secured to the braid, I then just tried different ways of sewing the track onto the braid, and it was very complicated, especially towards the bottom where the braid is really little. I tried to take the needle through the braid, then through the track, sometimes through the track, then through the braid. Tried to take it underneath the track and then through the braid and make a knot. I just tried all different types of ways and it just was not working out. I'm sure there's a way to do this. Someone probably knows a better way to do this, and if I find it out, I will do another tutorial on how to accomplish this style. But for now, the thread just wasn't working out, and I ended up having to ask my client to try to help me get the hair untangled from throughout the thread. So we decided to switch up and try another method. I tied off that thread that I had already secured the track with, and then we decided to go ahead and try to use some hair glue. So here you'll see what I did with the hair glue was just glue down maybe 3 to 4 inches, wrap the hair around the braid 2 to 3 to 4 times, and then just let it dry. And then I move on to the next section. I'd hold it for a minute and let it dry before I moved on to the next section to keep the tracks from sliding down the braid. This was also a very tedious task. I ended up getting a lot of glue on my hands and struggled trying not to get it in the hair when the braid was smaller. But as you move up the braid and the braid gets bigger, it gets much easier to handle. Now, as I mentioned, there's probably an easier way to do this. I even thought about maybe trying to crochet some hair all throughout the braid. And then once I got the braid full of hair, cut it and shape it to the size that I would want and the shape that I would want. Or maybe even hairpins. I've seen some people try that. But like I said, if I find an easier way, I'll be sure to do a tutorial on how to do it. Now, once I got to this top part, again, it was a little bit more complicated because the ponytail was heavy and it had so much hair on it. So I ended up having to ask my client to hold it up while I wrap the tracks around. Now, I didn't need the entire 4 packs. I really just needed 3 and a tiny piece. But I wanted her ponytail super full, so I decided to wrap the rest of the tracks around anyways. Once that part was complete, you'll see me just go in here with those 3 braids that we left out in the back and wrap them around the roots of the ponytail. This will help secure the ponytail and make sure it lays in the direction that we want it to go. So if you wanted it to hang to the left, you would wrap the braids the other direction. Now, like I said, her ponytail was very, very thin. Not very, very thin, but thinner than we wanted. We wanted it big and poofy. So I ended up having to comb the hair out. The good thing is the more you comb, the bigger this hair gets. And if you don't like it, you can wet it and it will wave right back up. Then I went in with some scissors and just kind of shaped it up. The hair is already feathered, it's already layered simply because of how we glued it on the braid. So you don't need to layer it, just kind of clean up any extra strings and secure any parts that you need down with the bobby pin. Now, once we finished, we actually did not like how long the ponytail was. The ponytail went all the way down to her lap. So we decided to cut off about, I say, 4 or 5 inches of the ponytail just to bring it up towards her breast section. And you'll see right here, that's how much hair that I ended up having to cut off. And I made sure to put a rubber band on it before I cut it so that the other tracks wouldn't, the braid wouldn't fall apart. And so once I did that, we basically were done. I just fixed her baby hairs, and yeah, this is how it turned out. So if you like this tutorial, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can receive notifications of my posts. Oh yeah, and leave a comment down below and let me know if there's any other styles that you'd like to see me try or imitate or try to come up with an easier way to do. And don't forget to follow Miss Frida. As I mentioned, she does a lot of good work, and you could get a lot of inspiration from her page. So that's all I have for now. Love you, dolls.